Hey YouTube, I just unboxed my Bowman Egyptian RPD kit with demilled barrel and demilled receiver pieces. The pictures on the gunbroker ad are awful, so it's hard to tell what you're going to get, but hopefully this clears that up. This first thing we'll show is the demilled barrel. It's got 3 holes. This is on the muzzle end. My plan is I'm just going to cut the barrel back to here, have it threaded, and yeah, just shorten it so I won't have to worry about that hole. Next one's on the top here. It's not great, but the barrel's kind of on the heavier side, so threading, tapping, putting a plug in and welding it up and turning it, I think it'll turn out pretty decent. And finally, the last hole is here on the chamber end. It comes from the bottom side through the trunnion. I don't plan on taking the barrel out of the trunnion. The location of the hole is, you can actually see the shoulder. Okay. Chamber hole is right at the beginnings of the shoulder, so what I'll end up doing is probably some kind of plug, real tight fang plug, and welding it. Then I'll use a chamber reamer to match it to the rest of the chamber. It's not ideal, but it's definitely fixable. That's probably simpler than trying to rebarrel this. If I'm going to do that, I might as well start with a whole new receiver. I'm not too worried about fixing this. If you look at how the carrier sets, it's got a clear shot, so if it ever did fail, it would blow out the bottom, gas would be released safely. I don't see this as dangerous, and if you thread and weld, and it's fine. Let's see what the receiver cuts look like. The front cut is well away from the chamber. There's enough access there to weld it and then machine it. That shouldn't be an issue. There's the next cut. Looking in here, the geometries are all very simple. There's direct access from the top. You can run an end mill down there and clean it up, no problem. I don't see an issue. Moving on back here, same thing. Building a jig for this should be simple. There's a couple slots that I can clean up with a T-slot cutter. That lower section here, right where my pinky's pointing at, that doesn't seem to be important. I think that's just a lightning cut, or possibly just reduced friction. So cleaning that up perfectly doesn't even matter. So not a big deal. The next section, see it's twisted here, but I'm going to build a jig for this. I'll be able to weld it on all straight. From what I can tell, there's no interesting geometry going on. It's just a box with a slot. Simple machining. And the rear section, which is all screwed up, but it can be welded and fixed. Welded and machined. As for denials, I have to do a little more research. I know I gotta build some kind of, either a blocking bar for the carrier, or on some of these, actually just blocking maybe some blocking pins for the rails would be good enough. Same thing for, you need to block part of the rail for the lower. That's what that looks like, and then add a hammer or striker fire mechanism. Mine's going to be hammer fired. Let's see. Other than that, everything else is in good shape. Nothing too exciting here. Probably the hardest thing to fix will be the charging handle slot. Since it's so small, I'm not sure I'm going to get a cutter for that. I don't know, I have to come up with something. That's not the end of the world. I can figure that out. Even leave that off and just charge the carrier by hand until I come back around and try and fix the charging handle. The only thing else I found wrong with this kit, overall it's a nice kit, nice shape. Barrel looks pretty good shape. The wooden foreguard has a chunk of wood out of it, but oh well, that's what you get. But yeah, everything looks quite nice. Still has the original finish. It is a nice kit. It should be fun. Should make a nice gun and not too hard. Thanks.